Welcome to APIBAN, protecting you from unwanted zip traffic. I'm very honored to be presenting you this presentation for tadsummit 2021. My name is Fred Posner, and with that, let's talk about what we'll be doing today. Today I'm going to talk about me, just for a moment though. We'll call that the introduction. Then we'll discuss what is APIBAN, how APIBAN works, and how you can integrate it. Then we'll show some super exciting videos of APIBAN demonstrations. The most important part is the introduction, because I get to show you a picture of me. Oh, look at me. I'm based in Florida. My name is Fred Posner. I've been using open source VoIP for more than 20 years. I'm a consultant with LOD in the Palmer Group, and I'm honored to be a management board member of the Kamailio project. I love this community. The open source, RTC, and VoIP community has been extremely important to me and has given me a great way of living. I try to give back as much as possible, and that is one of the reasons why I helped start APIBAN. If you'd like to reach me, my favorite way is on Matrix. My address is right there. You can also, yell at me at Twitter if you want, at Fred Posner. And my website with even more contact information is qxork.com. So what is APIBAN anyway? APIBAN is not fail to ban. And the reason is I don't like fail to ban. You see, I really don't like fail to ban. Now, some people love it, and that's okay. Different strokes for different folks. If you're happy with fail to ban, that is fantastic, and I'm very glad that you're using it. My experiences were a little different. My main problem was the memory and CPU issues that happened when I used fail to ban. Huge memory leaks. Huge CPU usage. Tomorrow I'm going to learn how to talk, by the way. I thought to myself there had to be a better way. So I wrote a Perl script to help me with asterisk and free switch deployments. It would read the logs, find out IPs that weren't doing well, and block them. And it worked much better because it was much less CPU and much less memory. I still have the scripts on my GitHub if you're interested, but the problem with that approach, even with my Perl scripts, was one that, nobody writes Perl anymore, but this was many years ago. But that even if you're using the Perl script, or even if you love fail to ban, and remember, if fail to ban is your way, that's okay. But even if you do love it, it's reactive. It only works on a single box. So Alice won't know what attacked Bob. And Bob, he won't know what attacked Alice. Plus, you also have these minor issues, such as I could never remember what commands to run in fail to ban when a user would almost once a week block themselves because users. And sometimes I would put custom chains in IP tables, and fail to ban would mess with them. And I don't like people messing with my IP tables chains. So what is APIBAN? APIBAN started over drinks at Kamailio World. Now, if you haven't gone to a Kamailio World, you are missing out on a great conference. This is a great conference, don't get me wrong. Kamailio World is my favorite conference, no offense. And it happens in Berlin. Would love to see you there in 2022. But anyway, some of us started talking about being able to share data from SIP attacks that we were all seeing. And we thought that if we could block people before they found us, that could really do something. Everyone thought it was a great idea. And we were all kind of busy. So at the next conference, we would meet up and go, hey, remember that idea that we had? That was a great idea. Why didn't we do anything? Oh, yes, we all have lives and jobs. Well, in 2018, I found myself with a little bit of extra time, and I created APIBAN. The name means getting banned IP info from an API. And my thought was that most of the PBXs and systems such as Comilio, OpenSIPs support curl. So using an API would be a very decent method of letting your SIP system access this information. APIBAN is a simple API alerting you to active IP addresses sending bad traffic to your servers. That's what APIBAN is. Simple API alerts you to active IP addresses that are sending bad traffic. The key feature of APIBAN is quality data. We had contemplated all those years ago using a community share model, but that's too easy to exploit. Many carriers would love to poison that data and hurt their competitors. I mean, after all, if there weren't people out there who would do this in the first place, we wouldn't need APIBAN. If you can trust the data to be high quality, you'll use it. If you can't trust the quality of the data, you won't use it. Quality data is needed for this project. APIBAN uses the normal UDP, TCP, and TLS ports that a SIP server would listen to. Some of our honeypots use non-standard ports in addition, but we kind of alternate those to be fun. A common method of attack lately is to send non-SIP traffic to SIP ports, such as DNS, fuzz data, things like that. We detect and block that traffic as well. Now, how does it work? The internet. What a wonderful, wonderful place. Our basic thought was that if you put a PBX on the internet, you're going to see unwanted SIP traffic. It's just a matter of time. Oh, look, there's one now. So with some honeypots that also get this traffic, and many, many more honeypots, we can collect and share this data so you can block these bad IPs before they hit you. APIBAN works by using honeypots to collect information about IP addresses that are sending bad traffic. We really want good data, not accidental registrations, not people trying to make certain carriers look bad. We use honeypots who should never receive SIP traffic. And I want to thank Ivan Yarko for really helping by sponsoring many of these honeypots. When detected, we keep an IP as active for 7 days. Once an IP has run its course, it can be reactivated. Some of them reactivate themselves almost immediately. And when you check our API, all of the active IPs are returned to you. The API uses simple GET functions for retrieving all IPs or checking a specific IP. Here's an example. If I went to apiban.org/API/mykey/band, I will get a list of all of the IPs that are currently active. When I say all, I mean 250 of them. And you'll get an ID. Why only 250? Many of the PBXs should stop doing things around 250 and then do it again. So you get this ID so that you could then pass it and get the next 250. Usually there's less than 1,000 banned at any given time. If there are no new bans, we'll send a 400. If there are any IPs to ban, we'll send you a 200. And we'll always send an ID, which is most likely kind of just a timestamp, but you'll get an ID so that you can go give me the IPs since this ID. You can also check single IP addresses. So, hey, here's a new IP address. Is it good? Is it known to be blocked? If it is, we'll send you a 200. This IP is blocked. If it's not blocked, we'll send you a 404. We don't know it. And the full documentation for how this API works is at APIBAN.org. What you need to do is 3 main steps. 1, go to our website, APIBAN.org. 2, get a key. 3, start using it. The cost is 0, free, as in beer. And it's a service provided by LOD.com. Let's talk about integrating APIBAN. There are 2 main ways of integrating APIBAN. One is to use the API. After all, it's APIBAN. The second is to use a client that uses the API for you. This is really great if you, A, don't feel like programming, or B, just want to use a client. If you wanted to use the API, we have examples for you on our website. Ilio, OpenSIPs, Homer, other aspects in software like that. And all of that documentation is on our website. It's also on GitHub. Links right there. It's pretty. You can also use the open source client. We have 2 of them. One's written in Go, one's written in Bash. Use the Go one. The Bash one was a concept. Go is much, much better. And this integrates directly with IPtables. Let's talk about the Go client, because I don't want you to use the Bash. I want you to use the Go client. The Go client has a small footprint. It has an auto flush capability so that after 7 days, it removes the old IPs and brings in new ones. You can either compile this yourself, or you can just download and run the executable. And we provide the executables for Linux and Pi. Simple installation, and I will show you an example video of this just a moment. But basically, you create a folder, download the program, update the config with your APIBAN key, give it some execute permission, and voila, there you go. Now, let's say you're using something like pfSense or OpenSense. We provide this information in IP sets that are perfect for routers that support IP sets. This way you could just block the gateway to your network. Block everything behind it. Fantastic. And that works just very simply, because that one will, do a huge list. So if there's 800, no need to do control IDs or anything. It's just the full list. Anything that supports IP set, this list is great for you. But wait, there's more. What if you wanted to block an IP that we don't know? Well, we created something called IPtables API. Now, this is available at IPtables API on our GitHub. It's a very simple API. Very simple, underlined twice. It creates a local chain in your IP tables, both IPv4 and IPv6. So IP6 tables, IP tables. And with simple get commands, you can do block IP, unblock IP, or flush the chain. If you do flush chain, it's going to flush both IPv4 and IPv6. Here would be an example of integrating it with asterisk. So let's say you did, somebody hit your PJ-SIP channel with, let's say they were calling someplace they shouldn't. It's a bad user. You want to block them. Period. You think they're compromised. Your system can run the curl statement itself. By default, we listen on port 8082, so it's there for you. And boom, that's simple. Now there's full documentation on that GitHub, because it also does support delete and post if you wanted to get more creative with your API requests. But the goal was simplicity, because remember, I had all those problems remembering how to use fail to ban. So this is just block, unblock. It even does add and remove, because what if you forgot the word unblock? It's that kind of simple. Now I have some videos I'd like to show you of one, how easy it is to install IPtables, as well as an example and a visual explanation of APIBAN. And so here they are. Just how easy is it to install IPtables API? Well, first let's look. Right now I don't have anything in there. That's wonderful. So I paste this exact, well, look, it's already started. My God. All you have to do is paste and hit enter. And now the service is already running. If I do a flush chain command, it's already flushed. And if I look to see if I have chains in my IP tables, oh look, APIBAN local. Full documentation on the web. No one knows how much fun it is to look at screen captures more than I do, so we'll try to keep it quick here. This is SNGrep, and we're looking at some SIP traffic. You'll notice that, for example, on this one, we have a user agent of friendly scanner. That's easy enough to block on your own with software such as Kamailio. Other ones are more difficult because it might have user agents that would mimic normal traffic that you would expect to see, such as, for example, Cisco SIP gateway. But we do have aspects that are in common, and that is that most of this traffic is coming from repeated IP addresses. So with honeypots, APIBAN will help prevent these attacks. Getting a key is pretty easy. Just go to the APIBAN.org website, click the Get Key, type in a name, an email, and then click Key Me. We don't care about your name. We do need your email to send you the key. So it's one key per email. You'll get a woot, check your spam, and get your key. While you're waiting for your key, it's a good time to go back to that main website, APIBAN.org, and click the Learn More button. You can learn what you can do with the APIs, such as get all IP addresses, check specific IP addresses using what we call the check function. They're all get commands using your API key to limit authorization. Our integration today is going to use IPtables on any type of Linux platform. It's good for any phone service that you're running, such as Asterisk, FreeSwitch, whatever. We click the link to the GitHub that holds the Go executable, or you can build it yourself with Go. And we're going to follow these basic instructions. Very simple. And then when we're done, we'll add logging because the Go client does logging. And we'll also set up a cron tab so that every 4 minutes or so, you get new IP addresses to add to IPtables. So with these commands, we're going to go ahead and open up our command prompt on the server that we're going to run. And it's that same server we were looking at before, of course. And we're just going to copy and paste the commands in there. First, we're going to make the directory for the APIBAN executable. Then we're going to change to that directory. Once in there, let's do the wget and just download the executable. You could build it yourself with Go, but we're just going to go ahead and download the executable. And then let's download the config.json. French. Okay, then with our API key that we've gotten from before, we're going to go ahead and change where it says my API key to the API key. Now don't worry, I'm going to deactivate this one when we're all done. But let's go ahead and put in our awesome API key in there and then just close the file. Escape:_WQ for our Vim friends. Let's change it to be an executable. And that's just right there again in the GitHub. And you know, at this point, you're ready to go ahead and look at IPtables, and you can see here we're running block hosts, which is a similar aspect for SSH, but you'll see we don't have anything in there for APIBAN. I just wanted to show you that before we went and ran the program. But let's run the program now. And it's pulling everything, created a chain, and now let's look at IT tables. Completely different. We have just about 250 or so IP addresses in here. We're rejecting them. We've placed these IP addresses into a new chain called APIBAN, and we've added that chain in IPtables to both the input and forward. And this is all done with the Go client. So the Go client went and got all the IP addresses, added them to the chain. Have to scroll past those block host ones. But here we see API bans in that chain. Nothing else has changed, so we're not touching whatever you have in there existing. We're just adding to it. And there's our API ban chain with all those IP addresses again. And I know how much fun it is to look at. We're going to cron a update. So let's use every 4 minutes, and that's the example we have on the GitHub page there. And so we'll just put in the path, which makes it able to run. The */4 is for every 4 minutes, and we'll go ahead and run the client, which will then log the information for you, making it a lot of fun. All right, so let's look at that log, and well, look at that. This is why I tab things, so I don't embarrass myself on YouTube. That's where the log is kept, and just puts it in there. It will automatically be updated. If there's no new updates to run, it will tell you so. And that's it. APIBAN.org. Free, and thank you for watching. Wow, those videos were amazing. I could watch them again and again. Thank you so much for coming and watching this presentation. I look forward to the day when we can have these in person. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at qxork.com for all of my contact information. And for APIBAN itself, please visit APIBAN.org. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much.